Hi champs, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. My name is Frances Okeke, and today I'm going to be continuing with my series on abuse in Nigeria. My topic for today is sexual abuse in Nigeria. What's sexual abuse? When people hear sexual abuse, they think about rape, one gender or someone else now of the same gender forcing themselves or having sexual knowledge of another without permission. Well, that's one way. Sexual abuse for me or to me could also mean you saying something or acting in a sexual manner towards someone else which is unwanted. It could, for me, it could be words. That's sexual harassment. I think all that falls under sexual abuse. So for a child, let's say you're growing up, there's one I see very common in Nigeria. Maybe when you go to buy something and you see one little girl who's pretty, and some grown-up man, people take it as play, like oh, and you look at the little girl who is pretty, like fine girl, my wife. This grown-up old man, it could be in his 20s, 30s, or whatever, 40s, 50s, looks at this little girl and calls her my wife. Then this little girl at that age now has to deal with, she might not really understand it, but she'll be uncomfortable. Every time she sees this man, she runs to hide or something, because every time he sees her, my wife, call me, my wife, buy this for my wife, take this, my wife. She's made to understand her gender more, like there's this gender disparity, like he's a man, be aware of her sexual whatever. He's a man, you're a young girl, you're a woman, you're his wife. I don't really know how to explain, but it's uncomfortable. I remember it happening to me once as a child. I was not comfortable. Every time I saw him, I ran away. I didn't like it. So it was unwanted. Let's put it that way. And at that age, so little for most people, because I see it a lot till now, it's very uncomfortable for little girls. Yes. And then you also have situations where, not situations, like culture, or should I say religion, in Nigeria, in some parts of Nigeria, where a girl of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, thereabouts is being married off to some man as a wife, and he has sexual knowledge of the child. Yeah, I think if I grew up in those parts of the country, I would have been married before the age of 11 with 2 kids, because I was a very early bloomer. I bloomed really early. By the age of 11, my hips were this wide, And then you also have situations where, because I've seen it once or twice when you go out, I've even experienced it, other people around me have experienced it, as a teen or younger, as when you're blooming, when you're forming, as you're moving adolescence, you're moving from a child or a girl into a woman. When your body parts are being formed, your sexual organs, you're advancing, your breasts are coming out, the hips, that figure, feminine figure, and all that. You see a little girl who comes to buy something, and some guy saying, see your chest now, wow, this one every man's speckle. Like, you have boobs is what every man wants. Or see figure, this girl don't they turn to woman, that look at her shape, she's not turning into a woman. Or hear things like hips don't lie. I heard that one a lot. Remember that Shakira song? Yeah, hips don't lie. See hips, baby girl. As young as you are, you have some grown-up adults, man, telling you see hips, admiring your hips, your body shape, and all that. So they won't tell you, see Bobby is breasts. See boobs, see breasts. and an adult, yes, you're still little, and they're saying all this about your body parts. It's so uncomfortable, it's so unwarranted. As in, attention one does not need. It happened to me. I started wearing, when I was a teenager, I started wearing things that hid my waistline or body parts, because I was really, I had very big hips then. So it's very uncomfortable when adult males start saying that to little girls. I think, yeah, we basically have a culture of men marrying way younger. So people see it as nothing when they start. They feel they should feel complimented. Like, see your shape. Your mom, the husband will be very happy. Oh, I'm not even 18, and you're telling me things like that. I'm like 12, 11, 13, and you're telling my husband will be very happy. Oh, I look at my shape. So it happens a lot here. I think all that is part of sexual abuse and and abuse is not just the act itself. Harassment is part of it, and harassment can also be verbal. So this is verbal. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you conscious of your gender, your sexuality. It makes you conscious of so many things. It's an uncomfortable way to grow up. It's an uncomfortable environment to grow in. As a woman, or as a little girl growing up into a woman, and you hear all that, see all that, the first thing, this girl don't dare grow. Just look at the shape. See her shape. See her breasts. And then that happens. Then over time, here, I've had people who've told me that they were molested as a teenager, young adults, 11, 10, 9, 12, 13, thereabouts, by uncles, brothers' friends, daddy's friends, just even relatives, people around them, like close relatives, people around them. And then most times when we hear sexual abuse here, we think of rape of just women, but no. Lots of Nigerian males, or some, have been abused when they were kids. How do I mean? I'm speaking from my own perspective, because I've talked with male friends, platonic boyfriends, people over the years, and when they talk about their first sexual experience, they were really young, and this lady was really old. It could be some auntie, some help, some housekeeper who works in the house for the family, mom's friend, sister's friend, elder sister's friend, some distant auntie, some neighbor. But the lady is always pretty older than these kids. That he's a boy does not mean he was not raped. If you listen to this and you had sexual knowledge before the age of 18, and it was done to you by some female who was way older than you were raped. People brush it off as it should be a thing of pride, like he was being done a favor. Some lady decided to help him. It is wrong. I don't know what's wrong with people. How can you, as an adult female, be raping and molesting a male child, a little boy, and be thinking in your God that you're helping out, you're doing him a service by being his first? He's still a child, or he was still a child. It is wrong. Very, very wrong. That's abuse. That is rape. So if that happened to you, you were raped. Some guys brush it off as bragging rights. Yeah, I was so hot that some auntie wanted me. I'm sorry, but you were raped. No matter how you brush it off or try to rearrange it, you were raped, you were abused, you were sexually abused and molested by someone way older than you. You were a child, and you didn't deserve that. So I see it happening here a lot, and people feel it's okay. It is not. Boys can be raped. girls can be raped, boys are being raped, and people pay more attention here, people pay more attention to the females, to the girl child, and funny enough, they still get raped, even under their noses, by people close to them. People just look away from the boys. If my child ever tells me, my son ever tells me someone did that to him, man, we're gonna have it out. You did no favor. I'm coming guns blazing. That's rape. It is wrong. It is wrong before God and before man. You should have no reason to rape a little boy. You're feeling he's 13, he's 14. Yeah, he's still a child. He's not 18. And most times, those boys feel, you're an adult. You should know better. Come on. It happens here, as in like I said, from my experience or from the knowledge I have. Lots of guys I know or have met were raped by some auntie or some lady way older than them when they were kids. It is wrong. Because we always pay attention to the girls and leave the boys. So be parents, please pay close attention to your boys and to your girls. Boys can be raped too. Not sometimes they could be raped by females. Sometimes they could also be raped by guys. So now we have boys and men and women raping boys, and we have men and women raping girls. So then for sexual abuse, they have, and most times for females that it happens to, it could be most times someone they trust or their family members trust. It could be a pastor that the whole family knows and they trust him because he's a man of God. It could be some uncle who is very, not even necessarily related by blood, but here they make you call, some parents make you call every man who is older than you that comes around your uncle. That's where it starts from. They're not related. And the kid feels comfortable around that person. Then someday when the parents are not around, uncle comes visiting and she opens the door and she's raped. So that happens. It's people they trust. It could be a male friend they trust, some uncle, some auntie, some church member, someone they actually trust or family members trust. Is always the person raping the other. Then another situation could be a power situation where it could be the employer raping the employee, and let's not get to rape because it starts from harassment. Harassing the employee, making some comments. Look at your shape. Your husband is enjoying, your boyfriend is enjoying, like enjoying having sexual relations with you because of your body shape and type. Your boyfriend is enjoying, fine girl, just my spec, my type. Here we call it my spec, and stuff like that. It starts with those little uncomfortable things in your place of work. Your boss telling you things like, you're such a fine girl, beautiful. Then graduates from speaking, it graduates to a touch. Fine girl, they'll touch you like this, hold your hands, or maybe tap your ass, or intentionally brush the side of your boobs or something, That's how it starts. And then the girl, maybe she might report to HR. HR might not do anything, especially if it's a private, whatever, family-owned business. And that's how it graduates. When you keep rebuffing, sir, please stop. I don't. Some they not get angry or something or feel it's their right. It happens most times in case I've heard many times, because we have house helps, and sometimes people get helps or domestic help who are underage, below the age of 18, and they're living with these families, and the boys in the family are raping the girl, and then the dad too, the man of the house, is also raping the little girl at the same time. who cleans and whatnot after them because they feel she's less than. I've heard so many cases like that where employers sleep with their helps, with the domestic staff, and everybody feels it's okay, it's normal now. They're going to say, maybe you don't know all these girls, she's the one that put her eyes in where that man is, she's trying to steal her madam's husband, stuff like that. And so freaking what? That girl is underaged. Even if she's not underaged, if she were not working for you, would you be sleeping with her? See, there's so many sexual abuse situations I could give. So we have the domestic help being abused. You have the girl who works in an office being abused, and because she doesn't want to lose that job, because the economy is harsh and whatnot, she keeps brushing off the harassment and sexual whatever. Sir, please, I'm not interested. No, thank you, sir. No. Until one day he locks the door and forces himself on her. Because normally if someone does that, you just, you know what, I'm out of this place. Toodles, goodbye, deuces, I'm out. But since the economy is hard and you're looking for work, you just accept, you stay on that job, and you end up getting raped. Even though you just don't imagine that he's going to rape you someday. You just feel that, okay, maybe he'll just be talking and nothing will happen. But in the end, rape happens, So yeah, there's so many cases like that. Then you have political people, it's basically people in power abusing that power. Here, that's why you see most times people in power, like, because you're older than this boy or this girl, you take advantage of that age distance and respect being given to you and trust, and you rape that boy, that little boy or that little girl. It could also be, like I said, an employer and his domestic staff or her domestic staff, because boys also get raped. Yeah, we always refuse to acknowledge that, but boys also get raped. Like even boyfriend girlfriend relationships. One thing I'll say is, if you're in a relationship with a guy or a girl and you're not ready to have sex, you're not ready to be sexually intimate with this person, please don't go to the boy's house. Please don't go to the girl's house. Don't be in a situation where you guys can be alone together, just the two of you. People say, I trust him, he's my boyfriend. Sweetie. If you're not ready for sex, don't put yourself in that situation. I remember friends and cases of people telling me how their boyfriends raped them. So please don't do that. Don't go to his house. Don't sleep over. Don't even enter to say you're staying for hours on Netflix and chilling when you're not ready for sex, to be sexually intimate in that relationship. So it could be boyfriend, girlfriend, because most times these days when people accept to date, the boys, they always expect sex. Even the girls to expect sex. Like, yeah, it's normal. It's what people in a relationship do. Excuse me, there's no light, so I'm sweating. It's really hot. It's what people in a relationship do. So yeah. And when you keep saying no, I'm your boyfriend, you're not giving it to me, but I'm sure you're giving it to somebody else. Dear sister, dear sweetie, don't put yourself in that situation, I beg. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boys also get raped in relationships. You don't want to have sex, and you're telling this girlfriend of yours you're not ready for sex. Is it that she'll call you gay? You're gay, you're homosexual, blah 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 blah. Or one day she decides to slip something into your drink and you're all drowsy and sleepy, and she has sex with you. So boys also get raped in relationships, in the home setting, in the office. You have a boss. He has a female boss who says, if you don't agree, you're going to lose that job, blah blah. And he looks at all the responsibilities weighing him down. She can even force herself on him or put up allegations of rape and sexual abuse upon him. So champs, yeah, they vary. I've seen cases of sexual abuse in this country, and the sad thing is, when you're female and you're sexually abused, raped, maybe an adult female or something, even the ones who are kids, yeah, when they're raped by uncle or daddy or somebody, some auntie or somebody in the house, most times family members cover it up because they feel it's a thing of shame and stigma. They cover it up like, let's not put our family, whatever, outside. It's covered up. And then if you're a certain age, you start thinking of how you go to the police station to go report that you've been raped. Most times they make it very judgmental and hard for you to come out and say, see what happened to me, I was raped. You hear things like, waiting carry you go his house. Like, what took you to the guy's house for him to have raped you? People don't really hear no as no here. So you got to protect yourself. And if you were ever sexually abused, I am so sorry. It is not your fault. You didn't deserve it. You trusted the wrong person, and there was nothing wrong with you trusting this person. It's on them and not you. And I pray you find the healing and the help you need to get past it. So, champs, sexual abuse happens a lot. Form of harassment right from childhood. As a girl child, start hearing some comments, which I've spoken about, and so many other situations. Please, if you see things around you, a little girl, stuff like that, please speak up. It can even be in schools where a group of girls decide to rape one boy. He's like maybe the most popular boy in school and he's handsome and whatnot. I've heard of really crazy cases. Or a group of boys in a school, secondary school, or I'm not even getting to universities now, secondary school, who decide to deal with some girl because she said no to their friend, or something like that. Please, let's teach our kids, you should start talking to your children, no matter how little they are, about the sexual organs. This is this, this is that. Nobody should touch you here, nobody should touch you there, even mommy or daddy. Things like that. Kids are they're not too young to start learning about their sexual organs and parts of the body. It helps in keeping them safe and all that too. Champs, I hope one day, and I pray and I believe one day, when some girl is raped or something happens, there's some case of sexual abuse, people don't, because even when it comes on social media and you say you were raped by some guy, people say, were you put no friends? And so we could be friends, but it doesn't mean I wanted to have sex with you. I said no. But people don't pay attention. They don't care about those things. What were you going to his house for? What were you doing there? Show you people are friends. See pictures of both of them on social media. So she has been. Yeah, I took pictures with a guy or some guys does not mean I want to have sex with them or some group of girls or a girl. So please, let's all stay safe. And when you hear cases of people who've been sexually molested or abused, please be kind. Please. Because the way people treat it also affects the way the next person who's been sexually abused, whether they come out or not or say something yet. So let's all try and be kind to people. If someone tells you yes, we know some people lie, but most times really it's not. Let's all be kind to people, and all that. So champs, or can also be described as where you use sex as a form of power. How do I explain it? Okay, for example, you're married or you're in a relationship, a sexual relationship, and your wife or girlfriend tells you no sex for you until you do XYZ. No sex for you until you do what I asked you to do. No sex for you until this, that. You also have guys who do it. No, they use sex as a form of control, power. So yeah, until you do what I want, you're not getting any. So yeah, that's also a form of sexual abuse, if you ask me. I heard it happens here. I'm not married, but from comments I've read on blogs and whatnot, women do it. Yeah. They withhold sexual favors from partners until they get what they want. So yeah, that's sexual abuse too. If you have kids who are young, start teaching them about sexual parts. Nobody should touch you here, nobody should touch you there, blah blah blah. Even your teachers, blah 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 blah, mommy, daddy, da da da, and stuff like that. Be careful about the males, females, whoever you let into the house. Watch your kids. If your kid starts behaving funny, don't just write it off as teenage hormones. Build a relationship with your kids, so if things happen, they can tell you, and they won't believe someone who tells them, if you tell mommy or daddy, I'll kill mommy or daddy. You know. And as an adult female or male, if you know you're not ready for sex in that relationship, don't go to somewhere where you guys will be alone. Don't step into it. Yes, I always believe, and I'm a propagator for fornication is a sin, but I'm not going to be into that in this video. So if you know you're not going to do that, or you're not ready for that, do the right thing. Keep yourself safe. No matter how much you trust this person, keep temptation away from both of you. Basically, let's put it that way. Then, if you're in a workplace where you're being sexually harassed, just keep that back of your mind that harassment, sexual harassment, be it verbal and touchy, nothing is happening, always graduates to the main act, which is sexual abuse, or should I say penetration. Violence, it happens, it graduates from there. It's like being in an abusive relationship. It starts with a slap or a shout. He or she shouts at you first, then a slap, then 2 slaps. So yeah, let's all just be safe, be kind to people who say around you. Look out for the boys around you, look out for the girls around you, look out for your friends and everybody else. And if someone comes online saying I've been abused sexually, or tells you, don't go all judgy. What took you there? What are you looking for? Is it not your boyfriend? Is it not your husband? Yeah, husbands even rape their wives, and wives rape their husbands. Maybe the wife says, no, I'm on my period, I can't, or baby, not today, or she just gave birth, and doctor says that she's in pain. So yeah, husbands also rape their wives. It not necessarily unknown people. It could be in a relationship with someone, and as in you're married before the law, and you get raped. Yeah, husbands rape their wives rape their husbands, just like boyfriends rape their girlfriends, and girlfriends rape their boyfriends. So champs, I could go on and on about sexual abuse in Nigeria. So champs, I hope, look out for that house help or domestic staff working in that neighbor's house or in your own house, stuff like that. So let's all be our brothers and sisters keepers. So next time, champs, do not forget that you're a champ, and I love you, but God loves you more. And I hope my thoughts on this have been able to help you somehow, or you learned a thing or two. And do not forget that you're a champ. Yes, you are. My name is Frances Okeke. Bye, champs.